Welcome back to the Mat Yogis. This is a slow flow for back pain. We are going to target the upper back, the middle back, and the lower back. Let's begin by stepping onto your mat. Find a nice comfortable seat. Close your eyes with your palms facing down on your knees, and let's begin. Rest your tongue on the roof of the mouth. Inhale through the nose and take a long exhalation out through the mouth. Relax your belly. Taking a few moments to arrive in your practice. Let go of your to-do list. Let go of the different roles that you navigate through the day. Release any tension you feel in your jaw. Arrive in the present moment. Tune into your breath. Begin to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. We take Ujjayi breathing, our 4-part breath. Let your hands come to your heart space. Set yourself an intention for your practice. I know it's challenging to move through the day when you have pain in your body, no matter where it may be. Use this time to move inwards and uncover what is not balanced in your life. Where can you find a bit more harmony or balance? Use this practice to discover where are you out of balance. In which part of your life can you find more harmony? Perhaps that is the root of your pain and discomfort. Take a deep breath and again sigh out through the mouth. Let the eyes open up and come up onto the hands and the knees into table position. I find myself always coming back to cow and cat pose. Tuck the toes under. Inhale, lifting the tailbone, letting the belly reach downwards and the gaze upwards. Exhale into your cat pose. Start off with small movements and let the movements get larger. Remember, this is a slow flow, so move with your breath and pause and take an extra breath when you need. Lift up into downward facing dog now. Lift up through the sitting bones. Have a little bend in your knees. I have a deep bend at the moment, but feel your pelvis. Try to stick your sitting bones towards the space behind you so you have a pelvic tilt, anterior tilt, and then start to lift the sitting bones a little higher. Over time, straightening the legs further and further. Spread the toes. Push down through the hands, forwards and down. Move the ears away from the shoulders and breathe out through the mouth. Let it go. Come down onto the knees, nice and wide. Child's pose, arms out in front. Try to get the sitting bones as far as you can get them down first, then walk the hands further out. And over time, lower the forehead. Feel your elbows. Let the elbows be lifted off the ground, as well as the forearms. Breathe out through the mouth. Soften in your upper back now. One more breath. And we'll come up onto the hands and knees. Targeting the upper back now, walk the hands further out in front of you. Knees shift to underneath the hips. You can come up onto your fingertips or stay on the palms of the hands. Descend the chest down towards the earth. Forehead reaches downwards into puppy pose. Breathe out through the mouth, let go. Take a breath in towards the armpits, the spaces between the ribs, the serratus. Breathe out. One more time into the upper back. And breathe out through the mouth. Returning to your Ujjayi breath. Slide the hands underneath the shoulders and rise up into your downward facing dog the same way you did before. Start with a little bend in the knees. Work on your anterior tilt. Tip the sitting bones up and back like you do for cow pose. Keeping that shape, bring the ears in line with the arms and push down and forwards just as much as you're pressing into the feet and up through the sit bones. Feel the eyes of the elbows turning forwards. One more breath. And come back down onto the knees. Take the left hand in the center underneath the sternum. Reach the right arm up and slide the right arm underneath the left. Threading the needle and rise back up. Remember to go with your breath. Try to open the upper back now. Exhale, let the right arm come down and under. And inhale, reach it up. This time, bring it down all the way to the ground. We'll come into a thread the needle pose. Right side of the head reaches down. Right arm reaches out. You can keep the left hand so the wrist is under the elbow and right in line with your shoulder. I like to place it at the edge of the mat. Push into the earth a little bit and just tip a bit over to the right side. Now take a breath, close the eyes, target the space between the shoulder blades and the upper back. The space is known for our past experiences, our past conditioning, the burdens we carry with us. Move into your practice deeper, dive inwards, and explore what could be causing that tension you feel in your back. Let's come back up to center. Right hand can come to the center, right to the left side. Inhale, open, exhale, thread the needle. The shoulder almost touches down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale and descend. One last time, breathe in. And we'll bring the left shoulder down onto the ground. Walk the right hand to the edge of the mat. Slide the shoulder down, bring the temple, the side of the head down, gently rest, push a little bit, ever so gently into the edge of the mat, over towards the left shoulder. 3 breaths. This practice is to help you feel good. So be sure that you're not hurting yourself or pushing yourself in any way through the practice. Explore the places that feel tight. And inhale, rise back up. Walk the hands back out in front of you. Tuck the toes again, and we'll rise up into downward facing dog. Now pedal those legs down a little bit. Push through the heels. Stretch the backs of the legs, getting into the calves and the hamstrings a tad. And bring the big toes to touch at the center of the mat behind you. Lift the right leg back. Just go as high as you're able to. Exhale, we'll place the right foot down between the hands. Bring the big toes to touch at the back of the mat. Lower down onto the knees. Reach the right leg back behind you, keeping the pelvis level. Exhale, place the right foot down between the hands. Use the blocks. Keep the back toes tucked under. Inhale, reach the arms up. You can slide the hands to the heart space. So we're working on the pelvis here. Lengthen the tailbone down, lift the pubic bone up, move the hips forwards and down. Place the right hand on the right thigh. Try to push the chest away from the thigh. Perhaps lift the left arm up and overhead. So we're stretching that left thigh, left psoas. One more breath. Exhale, release the left hand down. You can place it on a block. Lift the back knee up off the ground, and now we'll take a gentle twist, right arm up towards the sky. One more breath. Exhale, release the hands down. Lower the hands down to the ground, lower the back knee, walk the right foot to the back into your table position. And from here, we'll set up for the second side. Left leg presses and extends back. Pelvis is level, draw the belly in, set the left foot down onto the ground. Use the blocks anytime and rise up. So the hands can stay on the blocks. It's a nice way to assist yourself in your practice, bringing compassion to yourself. If you're feeling balanced and steady, bring the hands onto the front thigh. Check your body position, right? Pelvis is moving forwards. Pubic bone is lifting up. Tailbone is reaching down. Hands come onto the front thigh. Move the chest away from the front leg. Reach the right arm up. Take a few breaths. Oh, it feels good to breathe into those tight spaces. Every breath is like giving those tight spaces some love, some lightness. One more breath. Maybe you have fears that you're holding on to, causing that tension, and release the hand down. So we move into a twist. Right hand roots down. You can gaze up towards the left shoulder. You can keep the back knee down on the ground or lift it up. You choose. What is working for you today? Left arm rises up. Open it up. Take a few breaths. Starting to get into the hips a little bit. One more breath in and release the hand down. Let's lower the back knee to the ground. Come back onto the hands and the knees into table pose. I'm just moving the blocks. Move them forwards. From here, we'll lower all the way down onto our belly. All right, so as you come down onto the ground, untuck your toes. Bring your forearms in front of you into Sphinx pose. So the hands are flat, the wrists and the elbows are in line with the shoulders. You'll feel your ribs down on the ground. From here, start to lift the ribs off the ground. Press into the tops of the feet, engage the legs. Move the shoulders away from the ears. Rest the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Bring the chin slightly down. Close the eyes. Return to your intention. Where can you use a bit more balance in your life? What is the root of the pain you feel in your body? Breathe into the low back now, the kidneys, adrenal glands, past experiences. All right, now if you want a little more intensity in Sphinx pose, you can lift off the elbows, little bend in the elbows. Over time, they can become straighter. Watch that you're not bringing the shoulders to the ears. Move them down and away, strong legs, lengthening the spine. One more breath, and we come all the way down onto the belly. You can bring the forehead down to the ground. Forehead comes down to the ground. Bring the arms to the sides. Place the right ear down on the mat. Give yourself a moment. Breathe in and out. Lift the head, turn it in the opposite direction. You may feel a slight difference. How it feels on this side. You may find that you're giving more than you're receiving, or receiving more than you're giving in your day to day. Bring your forehead down to the ground. We'll come into Shalabhasana. Reach the arms back behind you. See if you can lift the hands up higher than the sit bones. Engage the legs first. Take a few breaths here. Watch the shoulders. Lift them away from the floor. Now begin to lift the feet, the legs, the chin, the chest. Strengthening the back muscles. Inner thighs lifting towards the ceiling. Breathe in this challenging shape. Finding a little quiet in between each breath. Notice if you want to jump out of the pose as soon as it becomes challenging. One more breath and release all the way down. You can turn one ear down or place the forehead on the mat into crocodile pose. And turn your head in the opposite way again. Observe any changes, any shifts. So from here, we'll turn onto our right side. Roll right onto your side. Stay with your breath. As you come onto your right side, you can use a block if you need to under the head, or you can use a pillow or a blanket, or the head can come down onto the ground. Bring the left hand on top of the right palm. Knees come together, ankles together. You can bring the knees almost into 90 degrees as well as the ankles. Now just start to lift that left arm up towards the sky. Follow your gaze to the fingers and across towards the space behind you. Just moving that left shoulder down towards the ground, and then inhale, bring it up. Exhale, close the palms together. And we'll do that 3 times. Inhaling up to the ceiling, exhaling back, softening in the upper back. If you feel any low back discomfort, you can put a pillow between your thighs. Inhale, reach the arm up. Exhale, down towards the palm. Hands touch. One more time, up. Oh, it's starting to feel so good, opening the upper back. And closing the space. Bring the left hand down to meet the right hand. Now you can roll right over to your left side. I'm going to push to the other way so I'm not facing away from you. We'll stack the knees and the ankles. Stretch the left arm out, palm facing up, head comes down onto the blanket or the floor. Palms come together, knees and ankles. Find the right distance. Reach the arm up towards the ceiling as you breathe in. Follow the gaze if possible. And exhale, bringing that right shoulder towards the ground in that direction. Inhaling up, exhale, the palms come back to touch. One more time. Let's roll now onto our backside. So our feet come down to the ground. You can bring your palms down to the sides, right at the edges of your mat. Separate your feet so they're hips distance apart, and bring your knees so they're right over the top of your ankles. Press the head down into the ground. Take the shoulders, bring them underneath, and we'll begin to lift off the sitting bones, coming into a bridge pose. Be sure that you're not pressing into the neck, so you're pulling the mat apart, hands moving away from each other, pressing the elbows down, the wrists down, the shoulders down, the back of the head. Feel the knees so that they stay hips distance. Now take a few breaths, breathe into the heart space, strengthening the back of the legs, strengthening the back body, opening the chest, and release down. Press the sit bones down, and then release the upper back down. Place the feet wide, knees together. Hands can rest on the belly for a few breaths. Close the eyes, breathe out through the mouth. These slow flows are nice. The slow flow is a nice place to be when you're feeling discomfort and pain. To let you go beneath the pain and the discomfort and see what the root cause to the problem is. Let's do another bridge pose. You can either take the hands to the edges of the mat again, or bring the hands right in line with the shoulders. Press the palms down. Begin by lifting up through the sitting bones. Rock to the left side and the right side to tuck the shoulders under, and begin to lift up a little bit higher. So you want to make sure that the chin is pointing towards the ceiling, back of the head is pressing down, shoulders pressing down, arms pressing down, elbows, wrists, and palms of the hands. Push into the feet, lengthen the tailbone, soften the glutes. Let the belly rise and fall. One more breath. And descend to sit bones, lift upper back, and release it down onto the mat. Take the feet wide, knees together, palms lay flat. Breathe in and sigh it out. From here, we'll bring the hands onto the knees. The knees come in. Just move the thigh bones away from each other. We make these gentle circles. Let them get a little bit larger if you can. And then we'll bring the hands on the inside of the feet. You can grab the bottoms of the feet. If you're not able to, you can use a strap or a scarf. Let the knees go nice and wide so you have your ankles in line with the knees. Press the feet up towards the ceiling. Try to get your head down on the ground. Move the shoulders down. Push through the feet and pull down through the hands. Close the eyes. Inhale to your heart space. Soften in your hip creases. Try to lengthen your tailbone down. And exhale, gently release. Your hips probably feel nice now. Set the feet down. Place the right leg over the top of the left like you're crossing your legs. From here, you can let your legs fall over to the left side. Bring your arms out into a cactus or a T position. Now, if you have something nearby, you can place it underneath your left thigh. It's nice to have support. Sometimes I use the block or a bolster. Just opening up the side of the hip into the glute medius. And release to the other side. Unwind the legs. Left leg over the top. Let them drop over to the right side. Sometimes I turn my head here over to my left arm. The eyes can be closed, or you can keep the head in the center. Notice any sensation that you may feel, even down into the IT band and the TFL at the top of the IT band. And we'll bring the legs back to center. And you can either roll from side to side for a minute, just rocking on the sacrum, or just hug the knees into the chest. And we'll come up to a seated position. Just push yourself over to the side and up. We'll come into a seated twisting pose. Stretch the legs out in front of you. We'll take the right leg and bring it back and take the left foot over the top of the right knee. So it's on the opposite side. Wrap the right arm around the left thigh to cradle and bring the left arm behind like a column or a post. So make sure you're not leaning forwards or back. Press into it as you lengthen the spine. And as you do this, feel your left toes. Try to press the left big toe down into the ground. And as you do that, take a breath into your heart. And perhaps start to twist towards the left. Maybe towards the left shoulder your eyes go. Now, when you have low back pain, upper back pain, any type of back pain, don't push the poses too far. Go a little less than you normally would go. Come back to center, twist the opposite way. And then you can move the left leg behind you, bringing the hands in front, and we'll come into pigeon pose on the right side. So the right knee will move behind the right wrist. Move the right toes, start off at the middle of the mat and work them towards the left wrist. Walk your left toes back. Keep the toes tucked under. Take a breath in, puff the chest out. So you get a little bit of that Sphinx pose there. And we begin to fold forwards. You're welcome to place the hands under the forehead, right hand, left hand, forehead. Untuck the back toes. Again, in this position, remember again not to stretch too far. Try to lower the left thigh towards the ground. Take a breath into the back body and then soften into the right side. So if you feel yourself sitting on the right sitting bone, lean a little bit to the left so you find balance. Now we'll push up, tuck the toes under, bring the hands, lift up, bring the leg around to the front, and we'll move right to the second side. Stretch the legs out in front, take a breath in, take the right foot across the left thigh. Now you could do the pose this way with one leg straight, or you can take that straight leg and bring it back. So the left foot is sitting next to the right sitting bone. The right foot is pressing down into the ground. We wrap the left arm, cradle the thigh, find a nice elongated spine, press the palm down into the ground. You can do fingertips. Take a breath, push the left big toe down. See if you can get your right knee in line with your sternum, and then start to twist towards the right. Gazing back to the shoulder is optional. You can also gaze forwards. Check back with your toe. Are you in your mind or are you in your heart? One more breath. And we come back to center. Gentle twist the opposite way. Right leg comes behind, making our way into pigeon pose. Come up onto the hands, move the left knee behind the left wrist, and walk the left ankle to the place that's just right to you. Try to flex the left foot, keeping the knee safe, and walk the right foot back gently and slow. Inhale, puff the chest out, and exhale, fold forward. So the left hand down first, the right hand. In a perfect world, our left ankle would be in line with our right elbow. But know that you start from where you are, and over time you make the modifications. Now feel your left sitting bone. If you're leaning into it and you're rolling to the left, lift up off of it just a little bit and try to lower towards the right thigh here. Remembering not to push it too far. Find balance. Remember Goldilocks. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. One more breath. And then we inhale and rise up. Again, bring that back leg around to the front. Stretch the legs out in front of you and set yourself up for your final resting pose. Roll yourself down onto your back. As always, I will link my latest Shavasana above, so if you have the time, you can spend it here to soak in your practice. Otherwise, at least 1 to 2 minutes. This is really the most important pose of the practice. Close the eyes, leave the hands and the feet rested on the ground. If you have low back pain, please put a bolster, a pillow, or blocks under your knees so that your heels are on the ground. Close your eyes and let go. Let the breath go. Let your pain go. Let the challenges that you face go. Settle into the center of your being, to your heart space. Settle and rest in your light. Now you can begin to awaken the body. Move the wrist and the ankles. Take a breath in. Remind yourself to be kind and gentle to yourself as you move through your day. Roll to the side and push yourself up. Move with compassion. Move with loving kindness. Return to a nice, easy seat to finish the practice off today. You can place the hands on the heart space. Rest the thumbs together. The 2 thumbs touch and the palms rest on the chest. Garuda mudra. Rest the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Breathe into the heart space. Breathe into the front, the back, and the sides of the body. Illuminate your being with your love and light. Breathe into those areas that you hold discomfort. May you continue to find harmony and balance as you move off of your mat and into your life. Let's bring our hands together and bow our heads to all beings near and far. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be in peace. Namaste. Thanks for joining the Slow Flow Yoga for back pain. Please press the subscribe button below and the like button and share with a friend. I'll see you next week.